Good morning, third graders. Welcome to your math lesson. Today you're going to be working with lesson 3, which is continuing with area and finding area. Today we're going to be using two different measurements. We're going to be using centimeter unit squares and inch unit squares. So we've got two different measurements that we're going to work with today. First thing that we're going to do is just count the unit squares. All right, how many do we have here? Well, we know that we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So our area for this little rectangle here is 5 units squared. Okay. Next is a different rectangle. All right, let's count it out. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So the area of this rectangle is 6 unit squared. Okay, I want you to go ahead and do this one for a moment. I'm going to give you a second just to kind of count it and figure out what you think the units are. Okay, if you got 8, oops, I can type right here. If you got 8 units squared, you are correct. All right, go ahead and pause the video on this one so that you can go ahead and count. Okay, you should have had an opportunity to go ahead and count this. As you can see, we've got 2 rows with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 columns. You know that 2 and 6 times 6 equals 12, so I know that I've got 12 units squared. Okay, here's another one that's a little bit trickier. It's a little bit bigger. Go ahead and pause the video so that you can count these as well. Okay, you should have counted it. You know that there's 3 rows going down and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 columns going across. So we know that 3 times 5 is 15. So this is a 15 unit squared. Good job. All right, we're going to go ahead and do our application problem for the day. All right, Jace uses paper squares to create a rectangle. Clary cuts all of Jace's squares in half to create triangles. She uses all the triangles to make a rectangle. There are 16 triangles in Clary's rectangle. How many squares were in Jace's shape? All right, so the first thing we're going to do is go ahead and draw a picture. Okay, so we know that Clary cut Jace's squares into triangles. She uses 16. So I know that I have 1, 2, 3, or I know that I have 1 square, 2 square, 3 square, 4 square, 5 square, 6 square, 7 square, and 8 squares. Okay, that's one way to figure it out. We can also count by 2s, which we could do, right? If there are 2 triangles in each square, then we can just count by 2. We got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, which means that we have 8 2s, which means that we have 8 squares. Okay, we can go ahead and just do a division problem. You can go 16 divided by 2 equals 8 because we know that there are 16 triangles and we know that 2 triangles makes 1 square. Therefore, 16 divided by 2 equals 8. Okay, we could also write our drawing using the equation as well. Same with the skip counting. Write our equation. Okay, always make sure that we're answering our question by writing down our sentence. So how many squares were in Jace's shape? There were 8 squares in Jace's shape. Okay. This one you are going to need to get a piece of paper. All right, if you look in your Module 4 Lesson 3 classwork, you will see that there is a graph paper for you, a grid paper with centimeter grid, and you can tell that it's centimeter grid because it says so right down here. You can see that right here. Okay. All right. We've got that. We also have our inch grid, okay, then you can tell that as well because it says right down there, okay? So what you are going to do for this first part of the lesson, okay, you are going to have your centimeter grid. Now, whether you print this out, copy it down, or just have graph paper at home, that works. Whatever it is that you have, please pause the video and make sure you get this paper now. Okay, you should have had the paper in front of you now. So what you're going to do is you're going to build an array model. Remember our arrays, which is our combination of rows and columns. Okay, and we're going to build an array with 10 centimeter squares. Okay, however it is that you want them to be, the area has to have 10. There has to be 10 centimeters squared. You're going to color it in on your grid paper and label the multiplication fact. You're going to build a different array with different factors. So if you chose, for this one, let's say you did 1 row of 10. That would be 1 times 10. Let me write that down for you. So if you did 1 row of 10, okay, it would be 1 by 10. You would write out your equation 1 times 10 equals 10, okay? If you chose that, you need to choose a different array. So using the different numbers, let's say now I'm going to use 2 rows. How many would I have in columns? Okay, and you're going to color it on your grid paper and label it with a multiplication fact. When you're in this, you can actually go ahead and build your array. You just go into the shapes here, shape, go into rectangles. I'm going to go ahead and just cover it right carefully. And I'm going to go see how I'm dragging it over. And I only have 10. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. And now I have my square. I don't really want it gray, so I'm going to fill it red. Okay, because I know that I want to make sure that it's a different color there. Okay. Now I can go in and do my text box and add numbers. I know I told you that this was 1. Okay, and I know that this is 10 up here. So I've got 1 and 10. How do I write my multiplication problem? I write 1 times 10 equals 10. Okay. Now, because you're writing this on your grid paper, whether you wrote it out or you are doing it on the computer like I am, there's a really fun way that we can do this to make this so that you don't see any of the lines behind it. You just go into the fill color here, and then you just fill it white. And now, what do you see? You just see your equation. Okay, that's a really nice tool that you can use. Now, when you're using another array, whatever different array that you use, you're using different numbers, make sure that you do that for that. Use a different color, okay? Go ahead, pause the video, go ahead and do that. Come back when you're done. Okay, so you should have 2 different arrays now on your first grid paper. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and move on to our inch grid. All right, please go ahead and do that. Take a moment. Okay, we're going to do the same thing, but with 12-inch squares. Okay, so up in the centimeters, you used 10. Now you're going to use 12. Okay, color it and do a different one, and then color it with a different color. Okay, go ahead. When you have finished doing that, then you can go ahead and continue on with the homework or the problem set that is assigned. It's a homework set assigned to you. Okay, you have 1 page and 2 page. There's 2 pages, all right, with 3 different problems. Notice that you can go ahead and type into each square. It's already there for you. So all you have to do is just click into it and type it, all right? Don't forget that it does say square units. You need to make sure that you are putting square units for every single area that you find. Okay, I hope this has been helpful for you, and please make sure to come visit us during our live sessions today. All right, have a great day, boys and girls. Ciao.